Uchiha Madara and Hashirama team up for ultimate battlefield domination. Like, share and subscribe. Episode 21. Meanwhile, see the fascinating battle process between the doors. The audience in the live broadcast room was all scalp tingling and exploded flowers. Sleeper. Dead again. Dead again. Third end. Claws. How many are coming? The old man has no culture, and he breaks into the world with a word. Our players are already super god, aren't they? Oh my god. It's incredible. Is this playing Fruit Ninja? The wind speed ice wolf, who just abused the lighthouse country so badly, is now being abused by the door. Originally, I was worried that none of the Dragon Kingdom runners could run, but now the wind speed ice wolf may not be able to run any of them. In just 10 seconds, the mentality of the Dragon Kingdom audience went from collapse to joy. Many people who are slow to react can't believe the scene in front of them at this time. It's like a dream. Didn't you say that the D-level Fierce Beast was good? Why is it so delicious? It wasn't until watching the wind speed ice wolves in the picture become less and less that the crowd gradually returned to their senses. Hasama does have the ability to deal with these D-class beasts. It's not a dream. At this time, in the Battle of National Fortunes program, Bing Bing also watched all this in disbelief, and almost lost control on the spot. Oh my god. Oh my god. How can our players be so strong? It was beyond our imagination, because all this happened so suddenly. Bing Bing couldn't find enough time to think about how to praise the strength of the Dragon Kingdom players. And all the audience saw the performance of the door, even if it was a layman, they also knew how powerful the door was at this time. After all, before that, Suban and Zhu Jian were just their own people beating their own people. So they didn't know yet the strength of Suban and the pillar. But at this time, they already knew the gold content of Suban, pillar, and door. A single person can defeat a D-level beast-level wolf pack. When the special soldier Yan Baoshan saw this scene, he lost his mind and muttered to himself, "This room is really powerful." Every sword, every step, was incomparably precise, and he didn't take one more step or use more strength. It's like a perfect show, flowing and flowing. It's hard to imagine that this is actually the strength shown in actual combat. In particular, the divine flash slash before made me stunned. Bai couldn't help but be amazed. Is this Dragon Kingdom Kung Fu? Very powerful indeed. Whether it's survivability or combatability, it's definitely a man standing at the top of the food chain. I'm ashamed of myself. On the screen. Continue to be supernatural. Congratulations to the Dragon Kingdom player Uzumaki for slaying the D-level biological wind speed ice wolf. Dragon Kingdom once again awards 1,500 points. Congratulations to the Dragon Kingdom player Uzumaki for slaying the D-level biological wind speed ice wolf. Dragon Kingdom once again awards 1,500 points. In the end, under the attack of the door, these wind speed ice wolves are finally about to be completely annihilated. At the end of the battle, after seeing that their companions were getting fewer and fewer, they were already terrified and wanted to escape. However, in front of the door, they did not even have a chance to escape. All of them were killed one by one. Only one wind speed ice wolf was previously controlled by the Suban kaleidoscope riding will eye illusion. It was still motionless. Under the cover of snowflakes, it seems to become an ice sculpture, standing still. Because there are no wind speed ice wolves fighting on the battlefield, the national embargo also began to play rewards. Congratulations to the Dragon Kingdom contestants for killing a total of 12 Class D creature wind speed ice wolves. Dragon Kingdom earns a total of 18,000 bonus points. Current standings, Dragon Country 21,000 points, ranking first. Lighthouse Nation 2,000 points, last in rank. At the same time, the following personal attribute points are rewarded: Spirit plus 80, Stamina plus 60, Strength plus 90. These attribute points are the essence from the dead beasts, the high-dimensional energy they have condensed from their existence in the national transport embargo for many years. Kill more fierce beasts, you can get more high-dimensional energy. After hearing these words, Suban and Zhu Jian, who were fighting, were all amazed. I didn't expect that after killing so many fierce beasts, I would get such a rich reward. So it seems that killing the fierce beast is also the best way to improve the strength, or restore the peak strength. And after that, the reward for the first killing of the D-level fierce beast in the Dragon Kingdom was also issued. In addition, as a first kill reward, Dragon Kingdom players Suban, Pillar, Akima, and Bayuekue are rewarded with a D-class treasure chest each. 4 treasure chests descended from the sky and slowly landed beside the 4 people. After seeing this scene, Suban and Zhu Jian were not good enough to continue fighting, but temporarily stopped fighting. Between the pillars gasped violently, "Spots. I admit it. You are indeed better than me, and it is estimated that if I continue to fight, I will definitely lose. Let's stop as good brothers. How about taking a look at these chests? Suban heard that he was still a little dissatisfied. How does that work? Even if you concede defeat, you must continue to fight, lest others see it and think that you are making me. Suban is still a bit of a bad fighter. By Uekue. Akira. Alas. It seems that the two of them are indeed not saved. At this time. Although he had just finished fighting, his face still did not change color and his heart did not beat. It was as if the battle just now didn't require much physical effort. He wiped the wolf blood on his sword, sheathed the sword, and said with a cold face, "Spots. It's time to stop. Anyway, my eldest brother also admitted that he may not be able to beat you. Let's stop the dispute and think about what we're going to do now. We are in the national embargo." Suban, who was also high and cold, also looked at the door. After feeling the momentum of the door and the previous one, Suban seemed to be greatly interested in him. "You've just earned so many bonus points, you should have gotten a lot stronger, right? Do you want to replace your eldest brother and fight with me?" The pillars hurriedly guarded the doorway and said to Suban, "Spot, we fight, but we can't involve other people to come in." Suban's war spirit boiled over and continued to shout, "Pillar, since you can't beat me, you might as well fight with your brother." Hey! It must have been a very enjoyable fight too. At this time, Suban found that after this short battle, the level of playing had reached 30%. If you fight with their brothers, you should be able to increase the difficulty of the battle a little, and get more improvements in the level of play, right? There is a black line between the doors. Is there still an end to it? He associated with Bonsai's personality, thought at a high speed in his heart, and began to say in a targeted manner, "Spot, do you crave stronger battles? So why keep looking for my big brother? Go straight to the fierce beasts in the depths of the Forbidden Land. Although the D-class fierce beast just now is indeed not bad. But after that, you will definitely encounter S-class, or even SSS level beasts. Besides, killing a ferocious beast like me can also get a huge increase. It is no exaggeration to say that these attribute points I have obtained have allowed me to quickly recover my combat strength, and I feel that I have 50% of my peak strength. If it's a fight." As he spoke, he suddenly stopped. He originally wanted to say that he and Suban should also have the strength to fight. However, when it comes to the strength of Suban, it is better not to say it. So as not to punch yourself in the face. Hearing this, Suban's face was thoughtful, and it seemed that his heart was moved. The pillar looked at the door with a surprised face, as if he saw the hunter's heart. "Wow. You're so strong. Then if we fight the spots together, we may really be able to win the battle," he cried out in a cold voice. "Shut up. Eldest brother." He was afraid that his eldest brother would say a few more words and would continue to fight with Suban. Alas. My heart is so tired. Without the existence of this concoction of his own, no one knows what will happen between this Suban and the pillar. It is estimated that it will really hit the sky in darkness. Hearing his brother's reprimand, Pillar Jian was deeply shocked, lowered his head, and muttered a few words in frustration. Hey, it seemed as if he was still very afraid of the door. Except for the extremely important things, the big grinning pillars basically obeyed their brothers. And at this time, Dragon Country Live Room. After seeing the fact that killing the fierce beast could enhance their strength, Suban and Zhu Jian had a chance to ease the contradictions, and the audience's mood was much better. They all laughed. I seem to be confused. Who is the brother between this pillar and the door? Who's the strongest? Why is it that the pillars now seem to be so provocative in front of the door, and they dare not say a word? When I was fighting just now, I was still very imposing between the pillars, but I didn't expect it to look so cute now, ha ha ha. What a contrast. These three of them, it's like one mindless, plus two unhappy. Ha ha ha. There must have been a story between Suban and Pillar in the past, and it is definitely not a simple enemy. I don't know what their past will be. Wow, I've been paying attention to the pillars, as if I saw the expression on Suban between the pillars, as if it was a spoiled look, too sweet, ha ha ha. I really hope the two of them can work together. Hope is at hand. Now. Countless spectators were so excited that they even cried with joy. On the screen, Tsutomu continued to act on Suban. How's it going? Spot, anyway, you just had enough of fighting with my big brother. As long as you and we join forces temporarily, there will be more opportunities to fight with the top strong people in the future. Including beasts, but also people, and my eldest brother hasn't returned to his peak, so you don't have any fun fighting, right? A word between the words to break the key. He believed that Suban had absolutely no reason to refuse. Episode 22. After hearing these words, Pillars also began to widen their eyes with excitement, as if a child had discovered something interesting. Yes. Spot. Even if we continue to fight, it will take at least a day or two to finish. Why not compete? In this forbidden land, who kills the most fierce beasts? You think our teammates have killed so many beasts, but we haven't done anything, and we can't say anything, right? When the time comes, if you are left behind by the door, or even by a foreigner, it will be a disgrace. It is said that Suban is also quite recognizable. Oh, that's okay. In fact, Suban is not a reckless person. The battle between the pillars just now is purely for the sake of improving the degree of playing. At this time, Suban was already able to defeat the pillar relatively easily. It was too unbalanced to fight, and Suban really didn't have much fun fighting. Normally, the battle between the spot and the pillar has always been extremely fierce, evenly matched. Once one side upsets the balance, it may not do much to increase the degree of play. So let the pillars grow up quickly. Between the columns. You have to grow up fast. So, Suban looked between the pillars and added solemnly, "Pillars, you can't be left too far behind by me, then it's not interesting. I've always wanted to create a better world, and if you're too far-fetched, you're not qualified to walk with me. Also, we can also see what resources this country's embargo has, and if we can get more resources to give back to the Dragon Kingdom, it will be a good thing." The words between the pillars were even more jubilant. Haha. Spot. Do you remember the common ideals of both of us? It's really romantic. Speaking and talking, because he and Suban were no longer at war, the pillars were several steps closer to Suban and began to hook up with Suban. Suban was a little disgusted with his appearance. Got it, don't get too close. There's something to say. Don't throw sweat on me. Hearing this, the pillar once again posed a very low look, stepped back several steps, and said in a humble way, "Well, I will try. Definitely won't let you down. Be sure to kill more fierce beasts and get more resources for the Dragon Kingdom. I don't know, I may think that this pillar is a fan of Suban." Akira. By Uekue. At the same time, Pillar DM also secretly swore in his heart, The battle performance just now is a little bit down, and then we have to redouble our efforts. Otherwise, I may hate myself and don't want to team up with me. Be sure to be qualified to fight alongside your best friend and even surpass him." Hearing Suban's words, there was also a cold hum between the doors. "Ban, it seems that you are still an enlightened person, not a person who is angry, and you can still remember the Dragon Kingdom." At this time, Bayuekue was also relieved in his heart. This pair of joyful enemies has finally stopped. Watching them fight, more tired than fighting on their own. But then again, Suban, between the pillars and between the pillars, it seems that I don't take myself seriously at all. Am I ignored by them? Along with the huge amount of dialogue, the audience of the Dragon Kingdom was confused the whole time. Wow. Did Suban and Pillar stop fighting? Fantastic, sprinkling flowers. We Dragon Kingdom players finally don't have to fight infighting, and the Dragon Country players who are united together can definitely sweep the Forbidden Land, and the players from other countries are incomparable. Countless Dragon Kingdom people finally reluctantly breathed a sigh of relief at this time. Although Suban and the Pillar only fought for a few hours. But for the fearful audience, it is incomparably long. When they first saw the battle between Suban and the Pillar, who could have imagined that in such a short period of time, they would actually become friends? By the way, have you noticed that their conversations are very informative? Suban is still a person who wants to create an ideal world. It really makes me sigh. I almost thought he was a crazy person. Moreover, this seems to be the common ideal between Suban and the Pillar. It seems that they still have a pursuit, both friends and opponents. Their CP combination, what a bump. Haha, come on, two people who are desperate for the sake of fighting. It's okay to say that they have always thought about the country. The Dragon Kingdom people really put gold on themselves. The barrage area is once again at war. How come another foreign dog can't wait to jump out? Are you very afraid that Suban and Zhujian will unite and bring danger to your country, so it is not pleasing to the eye? You just admit it, so many players are no better than one of our players. The players of our Dragon Kingdom are united, and they will definitely return to the sea in this place. You are so weak. All of us combined, it is not enough for us to be a player. Don't say break 0 points. If you cannot lose points, it is good. Ha 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 ha, Lighthouse Country, don't queue. Under the powerful attack of the Dragon Nation, these foreign devils were quickly defeated. At this time, the Dragon Country audience had everything to analyze. The whole scene can be said to be very lively. There are also many serious viewers, analyzing their strength in a serious way. After all, this is about the future of their dragon kingdom. That's right. It seems that this title seems to have said that after obtaining these attribute point increases, can he recover to 50% of his peak combat strength? Really fake, didn't he use his full strength before? Is there no way they can exert their full strength in this national embargo? Oh my god, he is already so strong, he is the top combat strength currently displayed by the national transport embargo, is he not the strongest state? Don't they just look like ordinary mortals? It is difficult to cultivate immortals. For a time, countless questions lingered on their minds. And the foreign devils who were envious and jealous of the Dragon Kingdom spoke one after another. Come on, it's just bragging. I don't think it's possible to exert our peak combat strength, it's our lighthouse countrymen. We are the ones targeted by the national embargo. Why is there no way to take these fierce beasts with such powerful weapons, and you can solve it with one knife? It's really a difference, I'm not convinced. At this time, foreigners are indeed envious and jealous of the Dragon Kingdom. But these foreigners can only be angry enough to be incompetent, and there is nothing they can do about it. At best, he was silently cursing Suban on the side. Next, Suban, Pillar, Gate and Bayuekue finally reached a harmony in the superficial relationship. After that, they began to observe the D-class treasure chest that had just been sent from the national embargo. This is the reward for the first killing of a D-level beast. As the main contributor to the wolf pack incident, Uzumaki first opened the treasure chest. A golden light shot straight into the sky, dazzling, and emitted a sound that ran through the battlefield. Congratulations to the Dragon Kingdom player Uzumaki for gaining a 50 bonus on intelligence attribute points. At the same time, because the contestants bind the Dragon Kingdom national fortune, they will be rewarded with 5 points for the intelligence of the Dragon Country people. Only those who have the nationality of the Dragon Kingdom, and recognize the Dragon Kingdom from the bottom of their hearts and love the Dragon Kingdom are eligible for the feedback of the national fortune. As soon as the words fell, all the citizens of the Dragon Kingdom felt a mysterious force appear in their minds. For an instant, they felt incomparably clear in their minds. Oh my god, my kid is only 1 year old and can talk. Wouldn't that be a genius? Okay, you don't have to think about it, you become smarter. Others suddenly become smarter, ha ha ha. It's okay, we Dragon Nation people have all become smarter, so let's go together to earn foreigners' money. Yes, in this case, the production efficiency of our company will definitely increase significantly. It's good for the whole country. Cool turned. At this time, the people of the Dragon Kingdom were all very happy. At the same time, I am also very grateful for what Akima has done. If it weren't for his excellent results, Dragon Kingdom wouldn't have received such a huge feedback on national fortunes. And foreigners saw such a rich harvest of the dragon people. It's all envy and distortion. Oh my god, is it too late for me to immigrate to the Dragon Kingdom now? Suddenly I feel that the nationality of the lighthouse country in my hand is not fragrant in an instant. This national embargo has just begun. I applied for the nationality of the lighthouse country. I think I can get the feedback of the lighthouse country players because of this, and the lighthouse country has come to punish, and the dragon country has received such a reward. No, I'm obviously also a dragon nation. Why didn't I get an increase in intelligence, and is there a delay? I can't add it either. Am I too smart to add? Seeing these people's words, the Dragon Kingdom people all laughed. Ha 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 ha, you two devils, we don't welcome you back. And don't think about it too much, the national transport ban has said that only those who have a sense of belonging to the Dragon Kingdom can get rewards. No matter where the two devils are, there is absolutely no reward. Welcome others who yearn for our country and can join us in Dragon Country. As long as you don't have two intentions, you can get a generous reward for our national fortune. We still have to tighten the nationality policy, just love our dragon country is not enough, at least it must be capable, not cats, dogs, and dogs we all accept. The above one said that there is no way to get a reward. I have checked your IP speech record, you are a hate party. Black Dragon Kingdom every day. Of course, they are not eligible for our national transportation feedback. Go and get down on your knees and lick your beacon country daddy. Now, the Dragon Kingdom can be described as a universal celebration, an unprecedented grand event. At a time when the crowd was excited. Followed by. In the picture, Suban also began to open his own rewards. Congratulations to Dragon Kingdom player Suban for receiving a 50-point pupil power bonus. At the same time, because the contestant binds the Dragon Kingdom national fortune, the reward is increased by 5 points to the Dragon Kingdom's national pupil power. A light similar to that of the door suddenly shone above the battlefield and poured into Suban's body. The next moment, Suban's kaleidoscopic riding wheel eye turned wildly. An even sharper red glow burst out of his eyes. This is simply the strongest amplification for Suban, who has immortal eyes and relies on the power of his pupils to fight. Episode 23, after the broadcast of Suban and the National Pupil Enhancement. The Dragon Nation people were still a little confused. Look at the Suban in the picture. Here we go again. His strange red eyes, could it be Suban's ability? It seems to be true, this eye should also be of great help to his battle. But what's the use of this national fortune coming back to us? Soon. Countless excited voices appeared in the barrage area. Oh my god, my 1000-degree myopia is gone. Oh, I can take off my reading glasses too. Although I am not short-sighted, I originally had no way to meet the Air Force's vision admission standards, and now I am absolutely eligible to be admitted. My eyesight was originally qualified to join the Air Force, and now it's even better. I felt my eyes, comparable to the so-called eagle eyes. I can see a small object a few kilometers away at this time, comparable to a human flesh telescope. Whoops, I'm the one who's most touched, I'm blind enough to see things. It's a bit fuzzy, but enough for life. Thank you Suban, this is the most precious gift for us as a neglected group. I, a blind man, can finally continue to contribute to the country. Wow, this is really worth celebrating. It seems that Suban's reward is super useful. It is no exaggeration to say that the population quality of our dragon country has suddenly increased by countless levels. Seeing the scene of the Dragon Kingdom people cheering at this time, the foreigners were even more uncomfortable. No way. No one can stop me from becoming a Dragon Country citizen. I love the Dragon Kingdom from the bottom of my heart. I graduated from Harvard University, and I want to throw myself into the arms of the Dragon Kingdom. I believe in my patriotic enthusiasm and will definitely be recognized by the national embargo. I want to make my due contribution to the people of the Dragon Kingdom, and I love this great ancient country of Oriental civilization. What bullshit lighthouse nation. Dogs don't stay. I have seen the faces of these lighthouse people, how civilized they are in ordinary times, and when they are in times of danger, they all become barbarians. At the time of the water crisis, as a convenience store businessman, I had a lot of mineral water, and I was very happy, but after a few minutes, countless people came to buy 0 yuan. I was even directly injured by these people, which is really angry, and after that, the Dragon Nation people were in a state of excitement. Dragon Kingdom players continued to start their own unboxing. The rewards received between the columns are also very much in line with his characteristics. Congratulations to the Dragon Kingdom players for receiving a 50 life force bonus between the pillars. At the same time, all patriotic citizens of the Dragon Kingdom receive a vitality bonus 5. This reward also plunged the whole country into a carnival. Especially in the hospital, the whole hospital is plunged into a sea of revelry. Several people who had been dying and were ready to declare death suddenly came back to life, and all the life indicators were very normal. People who are already extremely old, their bodies are once again full of vitality, and they feel that they can live at least a few more years. Patients who are plagued by serious illness also get a great vitality bonus, directly overcome the disease, and obtain a relatively healthy body. For groups with poor physical fitness, it is simply a blessing in disguise. The quality of all the people has once again reached a higher level. This also had an extremely far-reaching and lasting impact on the overall national strength of the Dragon Kingdom. Let the Dragon Kingdom get the population welfare again. After that, Bayuekue also opened his own rewards. Congratulations to Dragon Kingdom player Bayuekue for getting a strength attribute bonus of 50. For patriotic citizens of the Dragon Kingdom, get a 5 bonus on the power attribute. This reward of Bayuekue is also similar to the improvement of the life force between the pillars, and has a positive effect on people's physical condition in all aspects. Let the people of Longwu be healthier and be able to participate in work and study more energetically every day. The goal of working for the health of the motherland for 50 years has been truly achieved. In the live broadcast room of the Dragon Kingdom, the Bingbing host was also happy, and the smile never stopped. Our Dragon Nation has become an even stronger nation. Good news after good news followed. It seems that our Dragon Country players have indeed lived up to our hopes, hoping that we can continue to cheer for them and let them feel the silent support for them behind our backs. At this time, Bingbing also became more beautiful and moving because of the attribute bonus of the Dragon Kingdom players. The waist is more erect and the figure is slimmer. The most obvious thing is that Bingbing's eyes are also more dazzling, flowing with a bright and moving light. Just as the so-called eyes are the window of the soul, her beautiful eyes have also made her host process more powerful. All this thanks to Suban and others. Soon. Along with the joy of the Dragon Kingdom audience, Suban, Pillar, Uzumaki, and Bayuekue also ended their own unboxing. They're ready to officially hit the road and start looking for resources. After seeing that Suban and the pillars were no longer fighting and began to officially explore the national transport embargo, the audience was even more looking forward to it. I believe that with their strong strength, they will definitely win more rewards for the Dragon Kingdom. At this time, while the Dragon Nation people were overjoyed, important news suddenly came from the Dragon Nation's neighbor, Bakis. Congratulations to the country of Bucks for finding the E-class Icefield Greenfield. This resource will be 100 times more present in the territory of the Buckies country. This information was quickly known to all the contestants and the audience. So Bucks' live room suddenly poured into countless audiences. They saw that in front of the eyes of the Bucks players, it was a green area. The area should be several square kilometers. Biological resources are very abundant. There are many usable plants, as well as edible animals such as snow rabbits, fish, birds, deer, etc., as well as abundant water resources. Once 100 times manifested in the country of Buckies, it will certainly be of great benefit to the development of Buckies. It will also allow Pakistan to feed more people and export resources in exchange for more foreign exchange. While lamenting Pakistan's good fortune, the other players continued to find resources before continuing to work hard. Since then, more and more countries have successfully found resources. Although it is the lowest level E-level resource, it is also extremely exciting for them. The other side. The stick countryman, walking along, suddenly found something. Hey, it looks like a green area ahead. This should be the resource land that various countries have obtained before, the oasis on the ice field. Wow, that's too big, isn't it? Before that, I heard that the E-level resource land is at most a few square kilometers, but those of us who look at the past are endless. Don't we have to have at least a dozen square kilometers? Then our stick country is simply making money. We can definitely find some delicious food and water here to take a break. The audience in the stick country was also extremely excited. Ha ha ha, we stick people are finally going to rise. The resources of other countries are nothing compared to ours. We stick people are going to become cosmic powers. You still have to hurry up and join our nationality, ha ha ha. Countries with insufficient resources still come to our stick country and give you some resources. While they were happy, a voice suddenly rang out through the live broadcast room of the stick country. The player of the stick country was detected to encounter the fierce beast of the national transport embargo. D-class ferocious beast raging demon bear, episode 24, only in the middle of the screen. An incomparably tall bear creature, walking upright, with a fierce light flashing in his eyes, suddenly appeared in front of the stick countryman. Salivating at the players of the stick country, showing their own blood basin mouth. Seeing this 4 or 5 meter tall bear, the stick countrymen were completely dumbfounded. Oh my god, we in the stick nation have even encountered D-class creatures. Come on Oba. Be sure to defeat this D-class beast. These junk creatures, the Dragon Kingdom people are able to solve more than a dozen D-level creatures. You deal with one, it is simply hand in hand. In the picture, the stick countrymen were caught off guard when they saw such a huge white bear. Of course, they were shocked on the spot. But soon, they were also immediately on standby and took out their weapons. Because before, the Dragon Kingdom people had easily destroyed the broadcast of so many D-level fierce beasts, so they were also very confident in themselves at this time. In the previous equipment selection, one of them, Wang Xingxian, obtained a small pistol, so he immediately used it to attack. Wang Xingxian smiled fiercely, put on a face that he thought was very handsome, and shot at the furious demon bear. Bang bang bang. Hey hey hey. Go to hell. A stupid bear also dared to be in front of my stick country player, Kim Jong-woo. However, as he spoke, Wang Xingxian suddenly seemed to turn off the fire, and his expression instantly froze. Only to see these bullets hit the white bear, directly stuck on the thick skin of the furious demon bear, unable to go further. This will not kill the furious demon bear, it will only provoke his anger. Roar, roar. The furious demon bear roared wildly. Feeling the pain coming from his body, he immediately rushed over and slapped it hard. The man who fired the stick was instantly photographed and flew a distance of more than 10 meters. Before it landed on the ground, it vomited blood, accompanied by the sound of teeth aching, bones breaking. In the sluggish eyes of the audience in the stick country, Wang Xingxian fell to the ground. Broadcast of the national transport embargo. Wang Xingxian, a player from the baseball nation, was killed by the D-level fierce beast, furious demon bear. Seeing that this white bear was so terrifying, the people of the stick country instantly panicked. Wouldn't you? How dead are we in the kingdom of sticks? Aren't our resources also going to be taken away? What's going on? This white bear is only a D-level fierce beast. Is it so difficult to deal with? This is not scientific. How did the Dragon Kingdom people deal with it before? Is our stick country really so weak? In the past, in fact, players from all over the world were very cautious about fierce beasts. However, after Suban and the others had destroyed so many fierce beasts, they finally let down their vigilance. I even think that the Dragon Kingdom people can definitely do it themselves. It was only at this time that the Stick Country people sadly realized. Dragon Country people, they really can't do it. For a time, the other 3 Stick Country players, no matter what happened to their flying companions, ran away one after another. Woohoo! Don't eat me. My meat is not delicious, eat my companions. Oh my god, I was supposed to be on a TV show beautifully, so why should I participate in this Ghost National Games competition? At this time, they ran away, and did not look at Wang Xingxian at all, showing the ugliest side of human nature. And the running posture is also extremely ugly, stumbling. The appearance can be said to be extremely awkward. For the Stick Country players, such a provocation. The furious demon bear easily caught up with them and killed them one by one. Boom, boom. After a while, 2 more players fell in a pool of blood. Broadcast of the National Transport Embargo. Stick Country player Zhao Qingyu was killed by the D-level fierce beast Furious Demon Bear. Broadcast of the National Transport Embargo. Stick Country player Park Yong-ho was killed by the D-level fierce beast Raging Demon Bear. Only one Kim Jong-woo was still desperately trying to escape, but he couldn't escape the day, and was quickly caught up by the Furious Demon Bear in a few steps. Just as the Furious Demon Bear was about to give a heavy hand to the players of the Stick Nation, the spectators of the Stick Nation had closed their eyes in despair. In the picture, the change is happening again. Boom, a loud bang suddenly exploded. A giant snake about tens of meters long suddenly burst out of the snow and wrapped itself around the Furious Demon Bear. The tone of the national embargo began to broadcast to the audience. It was detected that the player of the national state of the Stick encountered the fierce beast of the national transport embargo. Sea-level fierce beast, Xian Frost Python. Xian Frost Python, all over the body, including blood, is as cold as 10,000 years of cold ice. Due to its special abilities of cold-blooded animals, the signs of life are not obvious, and it has extremely strong ambush and raid capabilities, and its vitality is very tenacious, with multiple living organs. Without enough experience, it is difficult to kill it completely. Stick Nation audience, is this embargo targeting them? Wave after wave? After encountering such a terrible D-class fierce beast, there was a sea-level fierce beast? It's so unreasonable, isn't it? The people of the Stick Country looked at the next picture with great despair. The scene at this moment can be described as a praying mantis catching cicadas, and the yellow finches are behind. The Furious Demon Bear did not expect that in this place, there would be such a huge fierce beast appearing. It immediately wanted to escape from here. But how could this long-buried Xian Frost Python give him a chance? The Xian Frost Python quickly accelerated its entanglement, strangling the Furious Demon Bear out of breath. I believe that in the near future, the Furious Demon Bear will become the dish of the Xian Frost Python. Seeing the giant python that would haunt the white bear to death, Kim Jong-woo and the Stick countrymen were overjoyed. Here's your chance. Woohoo! What a blessing in disguise. Kim Jong-woo's tears flowed down, making his makeup look extremely ugly. However, at this time, Kim Jong-woo, who loves beauty, can't manage so much. He crept a few steps in a hurry, hoping to escape quickly without the Xian Frost Python noticing. But before he could take a few steps, the head of the Xian Frost Python turned around. He stared straight at Kim Jong-woo, and there was endless ferocity in his eyes. Kim Jong-woo swallowed a mouthful of spit with difficulty, cried bitterly, and pleaded pitifully, "Lord Snake, please, do well, and eat this giant bear, won't you? Don't be embarrassed about others, okay?" The giant snake only gave him a blank stare with contempt. Then, it was the giant tail that smashed over. Syllable. Moment. Kim Jong-woo was killed on the spot. Let the Stick countrymen who have just raised a glimmer of hope instantly sink to the bottom of the valley. Broadcast of the National Transport Embargo. Stick Nation player, Kim Jong-woo, is killed by the D-level fierce beast Raging Demon Bear. At this point, the baseball players have been completely destroyed. Watching these scenes play out one by one, the Stick countrymen immediately fell silent. Fear, shock, panic quickly swept through their hearts. Finished. Their Stick country is really going to end. Soon, the punishment of the national embargo followed. Broadcast of the National Transport Embargo. Stick country players Cho Sung-woo, Kim Jong-woo, Park Yong-ho, and Wang Sung-hyun were all killed by the D-level fierce beast Raging Demon Bear. The Stick country reduces mineral resources, water resources, forest resources, and arable land resources by 60%. Stick country points reduced by 4,000 points. Current standings: the first place is Dragon Country, 21,000 points. Penultimate Lighthouse Nation, minus 2,000 points. Penultimate Stick Country, minus 4,000 points. This news is broadcast uniformly in the live broadcast room of each country. Shock all of humanity. After hearing these words, the people of the Stick Country seem to have been hit in the head. The next moment, they all wailed, unwilling to accept this miserable punishment. You must know that just now, the Lighthouse Country lost 20% of its resources and was on the verge of paralysis. That Stick Country lost 60%, almost a devastating doomsday crisis. The original small land and lack of resources can be said to be an extreme embarrassment. Only poor Baba begged his so-called father of the Lighthouse Country to help. Of course, the Lighthouse Country at this time is all mud bodhisattvas crossing the river itself, so they will not help the stick very seriously. At best, it is a symbolic little assistance, almost negligible. Anyway, everyone can imagine that the next crisis facing the Stick Country has just begun. The destruction of civilization, the collapse of order, the evil of human nature is revealed. A series of vicious chain reactions will destroy this arrogant, bottomless country. The reputation and international status of the Stick Country will also fall to the bottom. Other countries are not happy with the Stick Country, it is already good. As for helping the Stick Country, don't think about it. And at this time, the audience of the Dragon Kingdom was still looking forward to the picture of Suban and others. After Suban, Pillar, Door, and White Moon Kuei finished opening the treasure chest, they were ready to go on their way and began to search for other resources in the national transport embargo. Before leaving, he also looked at the wind speed ice wolf with the kaleidoscope riding wheel eye illusion in his body and asked Suban, by the way, what about this wolf? Spot, this is your prey, I will not rob you. Hack it to death, Suban said lightly. You're still principled. But such a guy, do you still need me to personally shoot? So boring, right? For this all hit by the illusion, the wind speed ice wolf that could not move shot, Suban felt a little cheap. But to let go of such a reward, he was not so stupid. So, Suban looked at this wind speed ice wolf and glanced at him lightly. Airplanes. Kaleidoscope riding wheel eye pupil power. The wind speed ice wolf seemed to suddenly regain consciousness, his body began to move, and his face looked around a little strangely. It's just the kaleidoscope in the eye to write the wheel eye logo, but it still hasn't been lifted. Subsequently, Suban didn't even look at this wind speed ice wolf, and said lightly, alright, let's go. Neither the pillar nor the door spoke, and very calmly began to walk forward. Bayue Kuei, on the other hand, had a puzzled look. The cold and bright beauty looked at Suban in front of her, thinking in her heart. How is the Suban a bit of a god nagging? What did he do to this wind speed ice wolf? Episode 25, Bayue Kuei quickly remembered something. That's right. When they had previously slaughtered the wind speed ice wolves that had sneaked up on them, the two wolves were the first to seem to be hit by evil, and suddenly they did not move. This seems to be related to the Su spot directly opposite them. Could this be the power of Suban's mysterious red eyes? It seems that above the three people of Suban, Pillar, and Door, there is an incomparably mysterious power. Seeing the wind speed ice wolf's strange eyes, Bayue Kuei didn't ask much, so he directly followed. And this wind speed ice wolf, the eyes continued to print the kaleidoscope to write the strange pattern of the wheel eyes, began to walk alone, do not know where to go. Meanwhile, the audience of the Dragon Kingdom saw Suban's inexplicable behavior and was puzzled. Sleeper, what is this Suban doing? Is it disdainful of killing this wolf? It's too pretentious. You can't always be rewarded with such a reward, and after that. The crowd remembered the previous battle, and the more they thought about it, the more confused they became. Yeah, in fact, before, the wind speed ice wolves between these two sneaking pillars suddenly stopped, and I already felt very strange. Now it seems that this is definitely related to Suban. What is this weird ability? Could it be hypnosis? Then again, both the Suban and the pillar really look like they have mysterious abilities. Before the pillars, you can conjure up a big sword. It seems that they are all pregnant with extraordinary powers. If you say that, it is not impossible to say that they are cultivators. Where is this wolf going? Shouldn't Suban want to play a big game? As for the foreign devils, they are indignant when they see this situation. You see, the Dragon Nation people are just hanging on the outside. These wind speed ice wolves have problems with each one, either they are scared away or they stand still. This is an evil wizard in the Dragon Kingdom, practicing a magic trick that is intolerable to heaven. Such an evil player must be expelled and cannot continue to participate in the national embargo. No wonder it came from ancient times, it was indeed something that the gods were nagging. You said you can't become a Jing after the founding of the country? Foreigners who can't see the good players of the Dragon Kingdom have spoken out again. On the one hand, it is to express dissatisfaction, on the other hand, it is indeed more and more jealous of the Dragon Country players. Although they have no thermal weapons, they are all extremely strange. Such a person, as his opponent, is indeed very uncomfortable. Although the Dragon Kingdom people did not understand what this was all about, they also began to fight back against foreign devils. When you're done, you say you'll drive away, you really have the ability. If you can't fight, you can just drive away. Is this what you call sportsmanship? Can't afford to lose. You foreigners like to break the rules the most, and seeing that our ability is slightly bugged by 1,000,000,000 points, you want to use some means to avoid competition with us? It's ridiculous. That's it. In the praise of countless people, Suban and others continued to explore the national embargo. As for the person who leads the way, it is the responsibility of the Dorma. As an extremely powerful master of perception, he is the most sensitive to the existence of mysterious and powerful breaths. However, Suban, Pillar, and Bayuekue had walked for a long time, and they had not found any resources. They still looked indifferent, let the door be the leader, and slowly walked forward. No rush. But the audience of the Dragon Kingdom began to become a little anxious from the original excitement. Why haven't we found the resources for so long? I wasn't very tired of watching them fight for hours before, but watching them walk for more than an hour, I was about to doze off. Can they find a resource? Wouldn't it be a mess, right? Although it is okay to fight with people such as Uzumaki, I don't know if I am good at wilderness survival and geographical knowledge. If only there were maps in the props you got earlier. Even if they can't find the direction, at least they have to observe the ice and terrain, right? It seems that he just went all the way forward, did not stop at all, and did not do any analysis. Meantime, in the process of anxiously waiting by the Dragon Kingdom audience, more and more countries are getting the resources. Players from all over the country in the national embargo are beginning to adapt to the game, knowing how to avoid fighting fierce beasts as much as possible, and finding resources and treasure chests hidden in the national embargo. After the great slaughter of the Dragon Kingdom, the sad experience of the Stick Nation and others, they already know the truth that people are more popular than dead people. So try not to compare with the Dragon Kingdom. Being down to earth, protecting yourself to the greatest extent, and getting more resources and rewards are the only laws for the survival of the national embargo. And after that, the players of the Lighthouse Nation also accidentally hit and stumbled, and found a D-class resource land. While exploring the resources, they also encounter a terrifying D-class beast, the Ice Scorpion. After suffering losses, they did not dare to be arrogant, and treated this D-class fierce beast very carefully. From a distance, he poured fire on the Ice Scorpion and used all his strongest weapons. Grenades or whatever, also do not want money to use as much as possible. This Ice Scorpion also wanted to resist, but unfortunately it was covered by the dense firepower of the Lighthouse Country, and it was extremely passive. Although he eventually rushed into the crowd of the Lighthouse Country, he was eventually blown up and injured, and finally destroyed by the Lighthouse Country. After that, the Lighthouse Nation also struggled to obtain the ownership of this D-class resource land. Naturally, this made the players and spectators of the Lighthouse Nation extremely proud. However, Dragon Kingdom only expressed great disdain for this. Compared with their record of killing more than a dozen D-level fierce beasts, it was simply a far cry. After all, before that, the Lighthouse people had been beaten by a D-class fierce beast, and they had also run away for a long distance. In the face of the disdain of the Dragon Kingdom, the Lighthouse people are dead ducks with a hard mouth, taunting the Dragon Kingdom for not finding resources for so long. Even if they kill some fierce beasts, it is better than the country with resources. For this reason, the scolding war between the two sides continued, and the war was raging. What do you dragon people have to be proud of? However, it is only a temporary lead, blind arrogance, which will inevitably cause serious consequences. Although the development time of our Lighthouse Nation is short, it will come to the top and soon surpass you backward powers. So you are temporarily ahead of the national transport embargo, just eating luck. Sooner or later, we will be given back the money. As long as you encounter these hateful peoples who are hanging on, the Lighthouse people will directly shoot and fire, and before you can react, you will definitely have been eliminated. Got it, your Lighthouse Country's performance is not much better, before being beaten by a wind-speed ice wolf and fled, haha. Ha ha ha. Now hit the luck and kill a D-class beast, thinking that you can save face? Pray you don't meet us Dragon Nation players. Otherwise, you'll be the end of the day, now. Although the Dragon Kingdom audience has the qualifications to stand tall over other countries because of their previous achievements, they have the courage to scold other countries and are powerless to refute them. But with the passage of time, the Dragon Kingdom audience was still secretly anxious. If the Dragon Kingdom didn't hurry up and find other resources, then they might not be able to get better in the future. After all, although the Dragon Kingdom players are strong, they are still flesh and blood after all. In close combat, although it can show bravery, its fault tolerance is still too low. Therefore, in the face of powerful thermal weapons in other countries, it is inevitable that there will be great dangers. In case the Lighthouse Nation and others did not talk about martial virtue and directly fired long-range guns, no matter how fast the speed of the people in the field, it would certainly be difficult to resist. The only thing they can do now is to pray that the Dragon Kingdom will continue to do well. On the screen, Suban, Pillar, Gate and Bayuekue were 4 people, and they had already gone a long way. As he walked, Suban suddenly stopped. Kaleidoscope riding wheel eyes shine brightly. Ahead is the so-called Icefield Oasis, right? I saw a lot of green plants, and there should be a lot of creatures there. As long as you occupy it, you can let the Dragon Kingdom get resources. It seems that the area is estimated to be tens of square kilometers, right? The pillars were also excited by the Tao. Oh. Spot. Your eyes are so good to see so far away. Let's pick up the pace. Akima also nodded. Yes, I also feel the unique atmosphere ahead. It should be a place of ecological prosperity. After hearing these words, the Dragon Country audience was thrilled. Icefield Greenfield? Could it be that their Dragon Kingdom found the resource land so quickly? Haha. Who would say we're slow? Slow and slow is good. It seems that we either don't look for it, or we have to find a large resource land when we look for it. If it is tens of square kilometers, it is at least a sea-level resource land, right? If it is 100 times more concrete, it is a precious resource of thousands of square kilometers. Haha. Then our Dragon Kingdom will be able to feed more people. Then again, why haven't I seen that this Suban's eyesight is so good? From their point of view, I can only see a white expanse. When everyone was looking forward to it, it took another 10 minutes, and when Suban and others approached, the audience saw a faint green color from the live broadcast room. It seems that the Dragon Kingdom has really found a large resource land. Episode 26. Looking at the oasis in front of them, the Dragon Kingdom audience rejoiced. Looks like they've really found an oasis. Sub and cow beep. I almost thought he was talking nonsense, but I didn't think it was true. His eyesight is almost like a telescope. No wonder the National Forbidden Land will reward him with pupil power. It seems that his eyes are indeed very powerful. He has always been firmly leading the way, and he must know where this oasis is located through some clues. Dragon Country is full of luck. Long live the Dragon Kingdom players. For a time, words of praise for Suban and others once again appeared endlessly. Foreigners who see this scene are naturally extremely unhappy. Originally, they had always questioned the Dragon Kingdom players, but at this time, they were once again dumbfounded, as if they had disappeared. Abominable Dragon Kingdom players. Why is it always so lucky? From strength, to killing fierce beasts, to finding resources, are they all so strong? Now. Jealousy makes them look bad. On the screen. As the 4 people of Suban, Zhu Jian, Wu Jian, and Bayuekue got closer and closer, the audience all saw a huge oasis appear in front of them. Upon seeing this oasis, the audience was shocked. The size of this oasis is definitely a very advanced resource. Much bigger than the D-class oasis found in the Lighthouse Nation. It is only the oasis found in the Stick Country before that it can barely be compared. Haha, you don't have to mention the scars of the Stick Country, they just looked at the oasis from a distance, and they were destroyed. Do you see that there are still speeches from the people of the Stick Country? Before, they always touched other countries, and when they saw others getting resources, they said that they were their own countries. What a shame. After being scolded by the Dragon Nation, some shameless Stick countrymen once again appeared. Do you have any sympathy? Our brothers have worked hard enough. Beware of your retribution, to be destroyed by the beast. My brother Kim Jong-woo represents not just the baseball nation, but the whole world. He sacrificed for all mankind, and you are not qualified to speak of him. Your Dragon Kingdom has encroached on so much land in our Stick Nation, and it must be returned to us. Of course, in the face of these brazen people, the Dragon Kingdom people didn't even bother to scold a few words. Such garbage should be handed over directly to God, so that the national transport will be banned from eliminating these shameless peoples. And after that, as Suban and the others got closer and closer to this oasis, suddenly someone found something. Slow down. How is this place so familiar? I seem to have seen it in the previous live broadcast room. It's all an endless oasis. Is it the one in the Stick Country? Look. It seems that there are animal footprints in the picture, and such a large footprint is really familiar in shape. Isn't it the violent demon bear that destroyed the Stick Country players before? Look at the surrounding glaciers and other terrain. The more you look at it, the more it looks like As he spoke, someone had already raised an ominous premonition. Wouldn't that mean we Dragon Nation people may encounter this more terrifying than the furious demon bear, the sea-level fierce beast Xian Frost Python? If it is a D-level fierce beast, then our Dragon Kingdom should still be not afraid, and the sea-level fierce beast is difficult to say. With this speculation, more and more people began to echo it. According to the previous law summary, the higher the level of resource land, the more likely it is that it will be guarded by high-level fierce beasts. And the reason why the Stick Nation encountered sea-level fierce beasts before may be because the resource level they encountered was sea level. So this Xian Frost Python is definitely guarding this oasis, and if you Dragon Kingdom collides, you will undoubtedly die, haha. You Dragon Kingdom can't keep hanging. The embargo will not continue to help you weak peoples. Now, countless foreign devils who wished for the misfortune of the Dragon Kingdom began to sneer. Of course, the Dragon Country audience still seemed very confident. In the doorway of our Dragon Kingdom, it is easy to destroy so many D-level fierce beasts, then if it is a sea-level fierce beast, even if it is a little tricky, it will definitely not be an accident. Not to mention that we still have Suban and others. But at this time, the foreign devils have blackened the Dragon Kingdom players to the extreme. Everyone is desperately cursing the Dragon Kingdom players, hoping that the Dragon Country players will be unlucky soon. Before the national transport embargo seemed to indicate that this Xian Frost Python was not an ordinary sea-level fierce beast, it was very good at ambushing. Even a B-level fierce beast, under the surprise, may suffer a big loss, let alone humans. Our lighthouse country has suffered the loss of sneak attacks before, and I believe that you will follow in our footsteps. Haha. Maybe in an instant, the unsuspecting Dragon Kingdom players will be destroyed one by one. I'm ready for champagne, so let's wait for the show to be played. In the picture, when the foreigners sneered and the Dragon Kingdom audience was nervous, the footprints of the furious demon bear were suddenly found in the doorway. This should be the footprint of a fierce beast, right? Look at this footprint, it should have been left not long ago. The crowd looked down at the doorway and did find that the footprint had been spreading forward. Bayuekue frowned and pondered for a moment and said slowly, "Is it in the oasis ahead?" Don't know what level of fierce beast? While they were talking, the sound of the national embargo also appeared suddenly. Dragon Kingdom players were detected to encounter the Forbidden Land beast. Sea-level fierce beast, Xian Frost Python. Xian Frost Python, all over the body, including blood, is as cold as 10,000 years of cold ice. Due to its special abilities of cold-blooded animals, the signs of life are not obvious, and it has extremely strong ambush and raid capabilities. It can even pose a threat to B-level beasts, and its vitality is very tenacious, with multiple living organs. Without enough experience, it is difficult to kill it completely. Hint, the beasts, resources, and treasure levels of the Forbidden Land, from small to large, are F, E, D, C, B, A, S, SS, and SSS. After hearing this prompt, the people of the Dragon Kingdom were secretly crying bitterly. Sleeper. I really came across this sea-level beast. Moreover, Suban and the others could not hear the prompt of the national transport embargo, and it seemed that they had not yet discovered the appearance of the enemy. I don't know where this Frost Python is hiding. This Xian Frost Python is really an olding by, and before it dealt with the D-level fierce beast, it was by sneak attack. The original strength is strong enough, you can sneak attack, then the strongest player will also be recruited. Ah. When we in the Dragon Kingdom prompted the Wind Speed Ice Wolf to come, we used up the opportunity of the bullet screen prompt, and now we can't notify Suban and others, and at this time, seeing that Bayuekue, Suban, the pillars, and the door were still getting closer, everyone was anxious. Could it be all about watching them jump into the fire pit? What to do? They don't know the danger is imminent. Finished. They should meet the Frost Python soon, right? When Bayuekue and the others were gradually approaching, and the Dragon Kingdom audience was secretly crying bitterly. Suddenly, the snow on the ground suddenly shot out, hitting Bayuekue and the others like lightning. And a huge white shadow that blended with the surrounding environment also suddenly appeared. C-class beast. Frost Python. Seeing this scene, the audience of the Dragon Kingdom invariably screamed in unison. Sure enough, the Frost Python has been hiding under the snow, that's it. How many people can Suban and others run? Shouldn't the whole army be wiped out? The Xian Frost Python is so big, it is estimated that it is not a problem to directly swallow people raw. At this moment, the Dragon Country audience all pinched a handful of sweat, worried about the Dragon Country players. Episode 27. The people of the Dragon Kingdom were extremely desperate at this time. I only hope that Suban and others can run as far as they can. It's in the picture. This Xian Frost Python was tens of meters long and extremely stout. Even two people may not be able to hold it together. weight alone can crush countless people. And the action is also extremely agile. If you want to kill more than a dozen people at the same time, it is not difficult. And at this time, this huge frost python shot out like an arrow off the string. The first target is by Uekue. The Dragon Kingdom audience was just anxious to go blank, desperately praying for Suban and others, but did not notice the details of each player's action in this short second. The snow rolled up by the Xian frost python shot sharply in front of Suban's body, but it was like snow entering magma, making a screeching sound, which suddenly dissolved into invisibility. The eyes of the Suban kaleidoscope riding wheel also rotated extremely quickly, the pupils were full of power, and there was a chakra energy flowing faintly on the body. The pillars also did not shy away, the hands were folded, the hair was like fried hair, straight into the clouds, and I did not know whether it was blown by the wind or the cause of the hair itself. And the door also immediately took a few steps back, his hands together, his cheeks bulging faintly, as if there was an object in his mouth that was about to spew out. Of course, Bai Yuekue's move was the most obvious. As soon as the Xian frost python burst out, she quickly pulled out her tang sword. Boom! The sound of Tang Dao's sheath resounded through the clouds. Unexpected by countless people. She didn't even dodge, but instead sneaked in and took the initiative to attack the Xian frost python. Sigh. Bai Yuekue's action at this time was like taking the initiative to send it into the snake's mouth. Of course, Bai Yuekue was not really sent to death. As soon as she approached the Xian frost python, she twisted her body and extremely deftly dodged the blood basin mouth of the Xian frost python and flashed to its attack blind spot. The Xian frost python lost its target and immediately roared. Roar. It didn't expect that the thunderous blow it had unleashed after being ambushed for so long could even be dodged by this tiny human being. Under the fury, its body began to sweep from side to side in a furious manner, and it wanted to use its own torso to directly kill these humans. Bai Yuekue was not afraid. Tang Dao danced out countless sword rays and continued to fight with the Xian frost python. After seeing this scene, the Dragon Nation people were shocked. They all opened their mouths wide and couldn't believe what was in front of them. Subsequently, the barrage of bullets in the live broadcast room rose and fell. Ah! Miss Bai Yuekue actually took a shot. I always watched her holding the tang knife before, but because of the door, I have not been able to successfully shoot. Wow, she just moved so fast. With a whimper, she dodged the attack of the Xian frost python, and also launched a counterattack. It is true that the towel does not let the eyebrows be raised, and Miss Bai Yuekue is so handsome. I don't know how she compares to the swordplay between the two of you, but cold weapons are still not enough to hurt the enemy, right? The cross-section of this Xian frost python was comparable to a towering tree, much longer than Bai Yuekue's sword, and it could be said that it was crushing in size. Before this D-level fierce beast berserk demon bear, it was difficult to use thermal weapons to break through the defenses, let alone a higher level C-level fierce beast. The scales of this frost python are so thick, they are indeed like steel. Do the three people in Suban, pillar and door between want to help? The crowd quickly turned their attention to the other three as well. Just now, they focused their eyes on Bai Yuekue's body, but they didn't see the reaction of Suban and the others. The look on Suban's face eased slightly. It seems that this White Moon Kue is not a mediocre person. There is no need to intervene or see how she performs. Besides, in his own capacity, he would not be able to join hands with people to deal with such a weak animal. Suban's originally extremely fast-spinning kaleidoscope wrote the wheel eye, and then stopped turning, watching Bai Yuekue fight intently. Looking at it, he did not praise Bai Yuekue lightly. Oh, it's wonderful. It just so long ago, I was still a little sleepy, and now I can finally wake up. The pillars were still folded, as if they were praying. However, his face returned to calm, and his erect hair had returned to normal. Instead, he took out a few bitter nothings engraved with the seal of the Flying Thunder God and suddenly shot at the Xian frost python. But what surprised the audience was that these dark objects painted with strange symbols seemed to be deflected. Sonorous. None of these sufferings were inserted into the ground or into the rocks next to them, and none of them hit the Xian frost python. The audience of the Dragon Kingdom, who were still excited, was in a mood like a roller coaster at this time, taking a sharp turn. Ah! Oh my goodness! Suban and Zhu Jian actually seemed to be watching a play? I lean on. This Suban actually wrapped his hands around his chest and frowned, as if someone else owed him money. Isn't it time for Suban to continue to be cold? Is he looking at Bai Yuekue with a very disgusted look? Isn't the Dark Master? Why are so many hidden weapons deflected? Wasn't their previous performance still very strong? Why don't you shoot one by one now? After seeing this scene, the Dragon Kingdom Kuriko fell into a carnival. They seized this hard-won opportunity to desperately compete with the Black Dragon Nation players. Haha, the men of the Dragon Kingdom players are useless provocations. They definitely want to run, but they're embarrassed to run, that's why they're so entangled, haha. Forget it, we also have to understand the players of the Dragon Kingdom, after all, this is a sea-level fierce beast, an unprecedented powerful fierce beast. That's right. The people of our stick country can't win, and your dragon country will definitely be destroyed. Of course, soon there will be Dragon Kingdom people defending Suban and others. Don't go dark, we believe in the Dragon Country players. It's not long since the cow-beat performance of the three people in Suban, between the pillars and between the pillars and between the pillars has passed, have you forgotten? Suban and others must have a reason for doing this. It may be observing the enemy to see if there are more powerful beasts around. After all, Miss Bayuekue can handle it now, so there's no need to take action, right? Maybe it's just to see the strength of Miss Bayuekue's sister? Before a group of D-level fierce beasts, none of them deserved to let Suban and Zhu Jian shoot, and this C-level fierce beast was estimated to be not much stronger. They're worried that their own shots will only affect Bayuekue, so why don't they just observe from the sidelines? The crowd was arguing at this time. The mood of the Dragon Country audience is also very complicated. Emotions such as excitement, worry, speechlessness, etc., are everything. If Suban, Pillar Ma and Uzumaki had escaped, they might not have said much. If you can't beat it, you can understand running. But the appearance of Suban, between the pillars and the door, really made them very upset. Although I was not completely desperate in my heart, I was also a little underwhelmed. It can be said that I am afraid, but I am not completely afraid. Alas, Suban, between the pillars and between the doors. You guys should hurry up, are you scared, or do you want to continue to observe? Don't you think you can't beat this Xian Frost Python, so you're thinking about how to escape with Bayuekue? Isn't it possible that the three of them still don't take this Xian Frost Python in their eyes? It seems to be a bit ridiculous. Fortunately, when the Dragon Kingdom audience was afraid and desperate, they also saw Bayuekue in the desperate battle. After seeing Bayuekue's excellent combat skills and even being able to fight back against the Xian Frost Python, they seemed to suddenly feel, isn't the situation so desperate? Could Bayuekue really be able to cope with this sea-level fierce beast? At this thought, the crowd cheered up a little. Bayuekue's skillful knife-handling skills, such flexible movement footwork, and such a calm and firm gaze are definitely a heroine among women. There is still hope for the Dragon Kingdom. Episode 28, Sonorous. The sound of gold and iron symphony continues to sound, making the audience frightened. Only to see that in the national transport embargo, Bayuekue's figure went in and out left, so that the Xian Frost Python could not capture the position of Bayuekue. He could only wave his body in vain and hit everything around him. But Bayuekue sometimes flashed sideways, and sometimes jumped on the snake drive. Didn't give the Frost Python any chance at all. It took a long time for the Xian Frost Python to mobilize its bulky head and circle around to Bayuekue's body and open its blood basin mouth. Suddenly bite into the white moon, Kue. However, Bayuekue made an elegant rotation of 720 degrees, and he dodged the attack of the Xian Frost Python, and the lotus step slowly landed on his head. The tang sword in his hand reversed the handle of the sword and smashed directly into the head of the Xian Frost Python. Bang! The Xian Frost Python was directly hit by the blood basin and closed hard. Click! The sound of toothacheing teeth breaking sounded, and the Xian Frost Python was forced to close its mouth, and even smashed its thick fangs into several pieces. Well. The Xian Frost Python grinned in pain, and could only squeeze out a sad cry from its throat, and could not even make a hissing sound. Moreover, after that, Bayuekue also made a graceful leap, jumping directly to the 7-inch position of this Xian Frost Python, and wielding a magnificent sword from the Tang Dao in his hand. Swish! The hard scales of the Xian Frost Python could not block Bayuekue's fatal blow at all. Bayuekue's Tang Dao completely sank into the 7 inches of the Xian Frost Python, and it was still gradually deepening. It was only because the body of the Xian Frost Python was too large that Bayuekue could not cut it in two. Roar! The color of pain spread sharply from the face of the Xian Frost Python. He rolled on the ground in pain, trying to shake Bayuekue off his body. But no matter how much the Xian Frost Python struggled, Bayuekue also stood still on the Xian Frost Python, as if walking on the ground. The Tang Dao in her hand also penetrated the body of the Xian Frost Python inch by inch, making its vitality disappear rapidly. If it weren't for the graceful killing of this Xian Frost Python and not letting the snake's blood stain his clothes, it was estimated that Bayuekue would have ended the battle faster. With the gradual insertion of the White Moon Kue Tang Dao, the fierce cry of the Xian frost python became weaker and weaker, and the range of struggle gradually became smaller. Finally, the Xian frost python turned its head and snaked upwards, trying to reach where Bayuekue was and launch a final counterattack. Hiss. The head of the Xian frost python was getting closer and closer to Bayuekue. And its eyes are also full of madness and violence. It seems that at all costs, dying and struggling, it is also necessary to swallow this white moon into the mouth. But Bayuekue looked at Xian frost python's eyes, still cold and ruthless. There was no ripple at all. In the eyes of the Xian frost python, the white moon Kuei in front of him was constantly enlarging, and he was almost able to completely devour the white moon Kuei. 3 meters. 2 meters. 1 meter. Half a meter. But in the end, the distance of half a meter seems so long. Every time you get close to 1 centimeter, you need the Xian frost python to use all its strength. The speed at which the python was moving had become slower and slower, and eventually it had come to a complete standstill. Bang! Its head also fell heavily to the ground. Because at this time, in its 7-inch position, it had been completely split in two by Bayuekue. Its unwilling eyes eventually dimmed. Bayuekue also drew the Tang Dao from the Xian frost python with a dignified and atmospheric demeanor. Swish! From the beginning to the end of the fight, the expression on her face did not waver in the slightest, as if what she had just done was very insignificant. It wasn't until he saw the blood of the Xian frost python above the Tang Dao that Bayuekue rarely showed a hint of displeasure. She threw the Tang Dao at once. Airplanes. The Tang knife rubbed against the air and let out a dragon groan. It is deafening and makes the eardrums of others buzz. The snake blood on the Tang knife also shot out sharply, and all of them were thrown away. Boom. Subsequently, Bayuekue sheathed the knife. Her face returned to calm again, and she looked at Suban, the pillar, and the 3 men with an indifferent face. It was as if nothing had happened. In fact, it is late and fast. From the outbreak of the Xian frost python just now, Bayuekue successfully dodged and counterattacked with a knife, to the stalemate process between Bayuekue and Xian frost python, and then to the 7 inches of Xian frost python being hit by Bayuekue, divided into 2. All this process is actually only 10 seconds of effort. Many of the audience in the Dragon Kingdom had not even reacted yet. What just happened? Only in such a fast time, the Xian frost python died? Countless viewers have even begun to wonder if there is a problem with their eyes and brains. Just now, he was still worried about Bayuekue, and it wasn't long before he complained to Suban, the pillar, and the 3 men, when he saw the Xian frost python being killed by Bayuekue. Flowing clouds. It was perfect. After a while, the barrage in the live broadcast room was like an explosion, densely occupying the screen. Sleeper. Did Miss Bayuekue really succeed in killing the Xian frost python? At the beginning, when Miss Bayuekue attacked the body of the Xian frost python, she also made a sonorous sound, and I thought there was no way to break through the defense. His knife won't crack? If you change to me, you can't cut a bigger piece of meat, right? Is this what is called hitting a snake 7 inches? Can it be effective against such a large python? I was even worried just now that even the thermal weapons of the Lighthouse Nation would not be able to harm this Xian frost python. It was amazing. Woohoo! I was moved to tears. Miss Bayuekue. YYDS. I want to become a brain fan of Miss Bayuekue's sister. It seems that our Dragon Kingdom is so strong except for Suban, Pillar, and Pillar, and Pillar. We are more than enough for a woman, top 4 people in other countries. Ha ha ha. Those people in the Stick Nation just now couldn't even beat the D-level fierce beasts, let alone the C-level fierce beasts. The excitement and screams of the Dragon Kingdom audience rose and fell. This little sister who was so weak could explode with such amazing power. After seeing this scene, the foreigners who were still very unoptimistic about the Dragon Kingdom were unbelievable. Before the Dragon Kingdom relied on cheating and killed more than a dozen wind speed ice wolves, it was very exaggerated. Now a woman can easily defeat a C-level fierce beast? How can it be? Absolutely impossible to be true. This frost python is definitely not dead. Countless foreigners who want to see the jokes of the Dragon Kingdom and hope that the Dragon Kingdom is ugly are all in denial. Envy and hatred of feelings let their faces distorted. Some people who collect money specifically responsible for the Black Dragon Kingdom are racking their brains to think of the Black Dragon Country players and attack the self-confidence of the ordinary people in the Dragon Country. But they scratched their scalps and still couldn't figure out a way. Incredibly humiliating. After all, Bayuekue is basically crushing the Xian frost python. How can you hack her? Return to the picture of the national embargo. Bayuekue left from the side of the Xian Frost Python and prepared to return to where Suban and the others were. However, at this time, the top management and scientists of the Dragon Kingdom did not relax at all. Although they have no way to directly participate in the battle, they are carefully analyzing the details of the battlefield at all times. This is to provide intellectual support to the players. Some experts suddenly realized that something was wrong and came up with an idea: slow down. As the previous hint of the National Forbidden Land said, this Xian Frost Python is completely different from ordinary animals due to its special ability. It should be difficult to kill it completely. Even if it is cut in half, it is possible to be half dead. The words of this expert awakened the dreamer with one word. Other experts followed the analysis worriedly. Bayuekue, they didn't hear this tone, and they didn't have any way to understand the detailed information of these monsters, so it was very likely that something would happen. And at this time, the national transport embargo did not immediately issue a prompt sound, saying that the Dragon Kingdom defeated the fierce beast. So this frost python may not be dead yet. Bayuekue and others really can't be paralyzed. Ah. That's really bad. We've used up the opportunity to queue players before, and there's nothing we can do now. At this thought, the top level of the Dragon Kingdom was also extremely annoyed and worried. Episode 29. Soon after, just as the Dragon Kingdom's top brass had predicted. The picture is indeed mutated and regenerated. In the field, the Xian Frost Python, which was originally lying on the ground and seemed to have no life, suddenly shot out of its body. It's like a return to the light. It tried its best to pull Bayuekue into the water. This is the powerful vitality of the Xian Frost Python. Even if such a long part of the body is broken, it can accumulate vitality and strength onto the body of the front half of the body and launch a thunder strike again. This is also an important ability for him to survive. Ordinary B-class fierce beasts, without noticing, may also be successfully attacked by them. And at this time, the Dragon Kingdom audience who saw this scene shouted out one after another. Ah, oops, how come this snake isn't dead yet? Is it really an old, who has been cut in half and is not dead? Hurry up, Miss Bayuekue. That's it. We Dragon Kingdom players will not be secretly calculated, right? The audience was so anxious to shout that they didn't even have time to comment in the barrage area. Some of them had already closed their eyes, not daring to look at the next scene. And in this moment of electric flint, Bayuekue still seemed to be on guard. Without turning her head back, she directly squatted down, avoiding the smelly mouth of the Xian Frost Python, and swung a knife backwards and upwards. Swish! This time, Bayuekue cut off the entire head part of the Xian Frost Python, from the bottom up. Its head is like a broken kite, soaring into the sky. At the same time, a rain of blood poured down from the sky. After completely cutting it in half, Bayuekue also rolled around and quickly dodged away, so as not to be stained by these smelly bloods. And almost at the same moment, before Bayuekue squatted down and swung his sword, the three people facing the frost python, Suban, Pillar, and Uzumaki, also reacted. Water escape. Heavenly crying, from the mouth of the door, countless thin needles burst out. Densely pierced the frost python. Sigh. This is arguably the most devious sneak attack technique in the doorway. Wooden escape. Tree realm descending, fold your hands between the columns. The next moment, there was a violent tremor from the ground. Countless branches and vines suddenly rose from the ground and grew vigorously. Prepare to use this wooden escape technique to entangle the Xian Frost Python to death. And Suban also let the eternal kaleidoscope riding will turn rapidly for the first time, ready to explode his own pupil power. However, it is only in the blink of an eye. Suban's eternal kaleidoscope riding will stopped turning. Because he already knew he didn't have to shoot again. At this time, Suban had already fused 30% of the Uchiha spot template, and his strength far exceeded that of him. Coupled with the increase in the power of his pupils by the National Transport Forbidden Land treasure chest, Suban's reaction speed, dynamic vision, grasp of the movement of the battlefield, and ability to see through all parties are all handy. Has a reaction speed that far exceeds that between the columns and the doors. Pillar and Pillar could only rely on instinct to shoot, and did not realize the excess of their own shots after Bayuekue counterattacked. After seeing Bayuekue quickly counterattack, Suban once again relaxed his mind and resumed the state of watching the play. I was still thinking in my heart, let's see how far this White Moon Kuei's strength has reached. If I know a little more about her strength, I will know when I don't need to worry about these weak people. If this Bayuekue's strength is too weak, then you can only take care of Bayuekue a little more after that. Ahem. That would be really disheartening. Let's hope she's a little angry. Therefore, Suban continued to look at Bayuekue's battle with an indifferent look. At this time, after the frost python was completely severed, Suban, Pillar Ma and others regained their calm and took a few steps back so as not to be contaminated with snake blood. Thundered. After a few seconds, the head of the giant python that flew high fell from the sky and smashed the ground. Snowflakes sputter everywhere. Mixed with blood and water, it forms an incomparably eerie and poignant picture. Complete traces of ninjutsu cast before the pillar are obscured. After the python's head landed on the ground, Bayuekuelian moved slightly, stepped forward again, and repaired the knife. Phew! 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 Bayuekue's tang knife struck the decaying wood and cut it into several pieces. Subsequently, Bayuekue completely relaxed his mind. This frost python is either very strong, or a little disgusting. These things, to put it a long story, are actually what happened in an instant. Countless viewers just screamed, worried that Bayuekue was being plotted by the Xian frost python. As a result, before the words could be fully spoken, I had already seen that the Xian frost python was once again cut in half by Bayuekue, and then cut into several pieces. This time, it was really dead enough to die anymore. It's a lot more exciting than a roller coaster ride. After a while of stunnedness, they had the opportunity to comment. Me lean on. I just read it right, this snake was actually cut in half, and it was able to launch an attack. Is this the powerful creature in the national embargo? Their organs and body structure are stronger than the creatures on the blue star. It seems that in the future, in the face of these monsters, even if you kill them, you can't be paralyzed, you must cut them into pieces. The more the crowd thought about it, the more frightened they became. By the way, I suddenly remembered that the prompt tone of the national transport embargo just now did say that this Xian frost python is very difficult to kill. I was also immersed in the joy of victory just now, and I forgot these tips. Bayuekue and others hadn't even heard the prompt, right? But she was even able to counter-kill unprepared, which was really too strong. It shows that this Xian frost python is like a child in front of Miss Bayuekue. Died so quickly. Maybe even a little stronger B-class monster, even if it sneaks up on Miss Bayuekue, it will definitely not be able to succeed. Miss Bayuekue may not have even used her strength just now, ha ha ha. At this time, the Dragon Nation audience is once again immersed in the ocean of revelry. Focus your eyes on the big white moonka. Ignore Suban and others for the time being. The foreigners on the other side are also very upset. Originally, they were all excited to see this Xian frost python attack again. I thought that the Dragon Kingdom players should be happy and sad, even the people who were ready to comment on the Dragon Kingdom ridiculed. As a result, the words have not been finished, and the situation has been reversed. How could that be? These audiences from foreign countries, at this time, seemed to have suddenly lost power in the country, and invariably chose silence. It disappeared in an instant. At this time, the voice from the organizer of the national embargo also appeared in the minds of all the contestants and the audience on the Blue Star. Congratulations to Dragon Country player Bayuekue for successfully killing the sea-level creature, Xian Frost Python. Dragon Kingdom became the first country to kill sea-level creatures. So the reward is doubled. Dragon Kingdom players become the owners of sea-level oasis resources, and this resource will be 200 times more manifest, appearing in the desired area of Dragon Kingdom. At the same time, all the contestants of the Dragon Kingdom, Bayuekue, Suban, Pillar, and between the pillars, won the C-class treasure chest. Kill the sea-level beast and reward 3,000 points. Double points is 6,000 points. Get sea-level resources and reward 3,000 points. Double points is 6,000 points. At present, Dragon Country is ranked first in the national fortune standings. 33,000 points in total. I hope other countries will continue to work hard to catch up. Hint, the beasts, resources, and treasure levels of the Forbidden Land are F, E, D, C, B, A, S, SS, and SSS in order from small to large. The prompt sound of the national transport embargo, a stone, stirs up 1,000 layers of waves. The Dragon Kingdom people can be described as ecstatic. It's our first kill again. Dragon Country contestant, Cow Beep. Miss Bayuekue is too strong. Such a large resource land, it is not only 100 times, but it can be 200 times more present, which is so cool. Before we laughed at our country that didn't have resources, didn't we punch in the face? We have a 200 times the sea level resource, which is estimated to be more than all your countries combined. Now, countless foreign spectators and players are gritting their teeth. Where the Lighthouse Nation players are located. George Smith, Kevin Harrison, and Bryce Armstrong III, once again in a rage. How is that possible? The Dragon Kingdom people actually made a splash again, and even the sea-level fierce beasts were killed? We almost had an accident when we hit a D-class beast. How did they do it? It seems that they are really people who are under the control of the state. Maybe they have some artifacts on them. I'm not convinced. Episode 30. Players from other countries are also angry. Seeing that the Dragon Kingdom was so prominent, they were really like fish in the throat. Even if you have to admit the strength of the Dragon Kingdom in your heart, you still have to scold the Dragon Kingdom people a few words. Say they are cheating, fierce beasts release water, national transport embargoed to help or something. Only Pakistan and other countries that have made good friends with the Dragon Kingdom can congratulate the Dragon Kingdom from the bottom of their hearts. And at this time, unlike these players who have entered the national embargo, the high-level people of various countries in the real world can clearly see the actions of Suban and others. So they don't get arrogant. At the Council of Sakura Kingdom, several high-level officials were also solemnly discussing. I just asked. All the kendo masters in our country responded. With their strength, there is absolutely no way to fight with this Dragon Kingdom player. This Bayukue that appeared later can also be compared with Akima, making our kendo masters ashamed. The speed and strength skills of the Gate and the White Moon Kue are far beyond the imagination of the masters of our country. If we Cherry Blossom players meet them, we will be in trouble. What's more, they are getting stronger in the process of obtaining resources and treasure chests. When there is a chance, we must kill Bayukue and others as soon as possible, and we can't give them the opportunity to plunder resources, otherwise, the development speed of the Dragon Kingdom will be unimaginable. The other side. At the Council of the Lighthouse Nation, the leader of the Commander-in-Chief looked at a scientist and asked with a dignified face, Dr. Manenstein, have you all figured out the results? The people in the science department immediately reported the results of the research they had just produced, one by one. According to our calculations, the wind speed ice wolves that appeared before are much more powerful than the Siberian tiger, the most powerful feline on the planet. Its defensive power is comparable to that of military-grade body armor. Its speed. Its intellect. After listing the detailed data, the science department concluded, anyway, the combat power between this door has exceeded the limits of human beings. It's not even an exaggeration to say, like Superman in the movie. And in the battle that followed, we also saw the strength of this White Moon Kue. And Bayuekue's movement speed when dodging and attacking is also beyond the limits of human beings, and if it is converted into 100 meters of competition, it can definitely break the world record. And the density of the scales of this frost python should also be very high, and even with ordinary rifles, there is no way to break through the defense. All in all, this Bayukue is indeed a very terrible player, and we must take advantage of the notification opportunity of the bullet screen to make our players do their best to kill these Dragon Kingdom people. The best way is to use firepower to suppress and directly kill Bayuekue from a distance. After hearing these words, the Commander-in-Chief lost his mind for a moment, clenched his fists, his nose fluttered slightly, and his face was cloudy and uncertain. He couldn't believe it. Why do such terrible people all appear among the players of the Dragon Kingdom? You must know that the players of our lighthouse country can't appear. Could this be the secret force of the Dragon Kingdom? Analyze as soon as possible. Analyze the weaknesses of Dragon Country players and see how to target them. Although at the strategic and propaganda level, the Lighthouse Nation expressed great disdain for the rise of the Dragon Kingdom, believing that it was the big brother of the world. But in terms of specific tactics, they also had to pay attention to the Dragon Kingdom. Especially at this time, there was also Bayuekue, an extremely powerful and unheard of powerful warrior. No amount of caution can be overstated. In the high-level meetings of monkey countries, Luzon countries, white elephant countries, kangaroo countries, and other countries, they were all in awe of the outstanding performance of the Dragon Kingdom. They all realized how weak their country was in front of the Dragon Kingdom. If the Lighthouse Nation can't reach the Dragon Kingdom, then these countries can only look up to the Dragon Kingdom. After all, it is no exaggeration to say that the resources, rewards, and achievements of all countries add up. Even the combined strength of all the national players may be far from the four people of Suban, Pillar, Hatsuma, and Bayuekue. If the Dragon Kingdom is allowed to continue to develop in this way, then the Dragon Kingdom will surely win a great victory in the Forbidden Land. This has never been good for the relationship with the Dragon Kingdom, and it is absolutely fatal to them who are close to the Lighthouse Nation. They absolutely cannot sit idly by and watch the Dragon Kingdom continue to dominate. As a result, they are constantly proposing to form a coalition of countries. Block Dragon Kingdom players such as Suban, Pillar, Hatsuma, and Bayuekue. I even hope to destroy the Dragon Kingdom and divide up the resources of the Dragon Kingdom. So they began diplomacy one after another, passing on their ideas to the powerful people such as the Lighthouse Nation. An alliance against the Dragon Kingdom began to take shape. Some countries have not used the once-a-week barrage opportunity before, or even use it immediately. That is to convey to their own players that the Dragon Kingdom is strong and must form an alliance against the Dragon Kingdom and the Lighthouse Nation. Only by destroying the Dragon Kingdom can they have room for survival. In various countries that hate the Dragon Kingdom, they think about intrigue and trickery. Countless important strategic analyses are also underway in the Dragon Country's military department. The Dragon Kingdom scientists also gave a very high evaluation to the skills of Uzumaki and Bayuekue. The study of the 4 players of Suban, Pillar, Akima, and Bayuekue is also in full swing. Even the wonderful skills that have been ignored by countless audiences, such as the art of flying thunder gods, the art of wooden escape, and other secret arts, they are also in their eyes. I just don't know that the principle has yet to be studied. We must find ways to help 4 of them, help them explore the Forbidden Land, and clear the obstacles. Of course, for the conspiracy of other countries, the top level of the Dragon Kingdom is also trying its best to deal with it. For a time, the top level of major countries can be described as a dark tide. In the program of the Battle of the National Fortunes. As an important publicity messenger for the Dragon Kingdom players, Bing saw Bayuekue's excellent performance, and his eyes lit up with excitement throughout the whole process. The eyes seemed to be covered with stars. Did you see that? Our player, Bayuekue, finally lived up to expectations and defeated the C-class monster, sure enough. At no time can we give up our confidence in Dragon Country players. We are in the Dragon Kingdom, and everyone is like a dragon. Bing after a compliment to Bayuekue. Special Forces soldier Yen Baoshan paid the highest respect to Bayuekue. I think this Bayuekue is indeed a very great heroine. I can also see that the speed and strength of this White Moon Kue are definitely far beyond my ability. One can hit me 10. Although I don't know the contrast between her and Uzumaki, they are definitely top masters. Furthermore, Bei also gave a thumbs up to Bayuekue. I have served in the Special Forces, and I have to say that Hatsuma and Bayuekue are masters I have never seen before. Even the so-called Soldier King is nothing more than that. Dragon Country players have so many strong players, it is really very lucky. Zhang Xiaozhong, the bureau seat, also reported the latest movements of the Dragon Kingdom to the audience. Good news. The oasis resources mentioned in the national embargo are indeed rapidly manifesting, where we most need water resources, biological resources, and geothermal resources in our Dragon Country. Large oases with an area of more than 10 square kilometers have slowly emerged. Because what is provided in the map of the national embargo is an ice-field oasis, and the oasis discovered by Suban and others has a large hot spring of nearly 10 square kilometers. In cold areas, these hot springs will be an extremely important resource. In arid regions, these hot springs are also extremely important. For example, in Shijia Village, Darim, Beijing, Haching. In the future, these places may not be trapped by resources and continue to develop and create economic glory. Upon hearing these news, the people of the Dragon Kingdom were extremely excited. On all major platforms, the cheers were incessant. The whole country rejoices. And across the country, under the influence of mysterious forces, there are indeed countless oases of abundant resources. In arid regions, nourished by an oasis containing special minerals, the land is once again rejuvenated, and seeds that have been dormant for many years sprout. Countless oases followed. It also creates a chain reaction that allows ecosystems throughout the arid regions to improve rapidly. From plants to animals to humans, everyone is overjoyed. Agricultural production, people's livelihood, economic development, etc., will also benefit a lot. And in the cold, countless trembling people suddenly felt the effect of the mysterious force. Maybe it's the supernatural power of the national Forbidden Land, or maybe the seeds of hope in people's hearts have begun to play a role. Anyway, people's bodies and minds are no longer covered by cold. A hot spring of this size, and the geothermal resources beneath it, would revolutionize the local climate. After fully tapping these resources, the production and living order of the Dragon Kingdom gradually returned to the right track. Gradually, the city, which was originally as dead as ice, returned to liveliness and warmth. Many experts even made an analysis. These oases are not ordinary oases on Earth yet. Its material composition is incomparably mysterious and magical, and its wonderful use is infinite, waiting for further research by scientists. The oasis embodied in the Forbidden Land of national fortune seemed to be full of aura, making the Dragon Kingdom have a precursor to the revival of aura. This is indeed a far-reaching and lasting event for the Dragon Kingdom. Bayuekue, Suban, Pillar, and between these Dragon Kingdom players are all very meritorious. It deserves the sincere thanks of the people of the whole country. At a time when the real world is changing dramatically. In the national embargo, there are more rewards to be given to Bayuekue. At the same time, for killing the sea-level fierce beast Xian Frost Python, Bayuekue is rewarded with the following personal attribute points: Strength plus 100 points. These attribute points are the essence from the dead beasts, the high-dimensional energy they have condensed from their existence in the national transport embargo for many years. Kill more fierce beasts, you can get more high-dimensional energy. These so-called high-dimensional energies quickly turned into dots of starlight, flew out of the Xian Frost Python's body, and merged into the body of Bayuekue. She felt that her strength had suddenly exploded. Before that, killing so many wind speed ice wolves in the front was indeed a great benefit. Subsequently, Bayuekue only then regained his composure and returned to Suban and the others with a calm and unhurried look. "How's it going?" "It's all right, didn't you just get frightened?" The pillars laughed. "Nice and nice. You baby girl, it's okay. By the way, I have been fighting with Ban for so long before, I have forgotten your existence. What is your name?" Bayuekue's face changed. "Amount? My name is Bayuekue.